I I rarely go to that McDonald's at Esther, Florida at night because there's a tall, thin, young guy that's just an idiot all the time. And you can tell that service is no good because hardly anybody goes there and at night. And this guy is so bad, it's like an argument every time you go. So I only go up there at night about 3 times a month because I'm petrified that clown is going to be there. So I pull up tonight and decide to order a soda pop, which I don't normally get soda pop there. And so I asked him if they still had the dollar Cokes, and he's like, yeah. And I said, well, I'll take $1, the biggest one you got, please, Coke. And he says, well, we have it on the app. I said, I'm not doing any apps. I said, all I'm doing is ordering right here at the drive-thru. So, do you have the dollar Cokes? And he's like, well, the Cokes are $1.19 and $1.70 and $1.70. And I said, do you or don't? Yeah, we got it. Okay. What size do you want? I want the biggest one you got. So, okay, so I get to the window and it's that guy. I said, oh no, here we go. This is going to be a real problem. So anyway, I go to pay him. And hey, Roxanne. Oh, this guy's terrible. And so anyway, I go to pay him and he says $2.78 or something. And I said, for what? He said, for your beverage. I said, no, wrong. So anyway, I said, I want the dollar Coke. That's if you get the app. And he takes this piece of paper and is like shoving it way out the window towards me. I said, I don't want to do anything on any app. All I want to do is order a quick beverage through the drive-thru. And I said, it's always a problem when you're here. I said, let me talk to your manager. I asked him 10 times for manager to the point where I'm yelling, okay? I am flying PO'd over $1 drink. It's like, do it or don't. So anyway, he's like, yeah, just a minute, it takes time. I said, get your manager here and do it now. And he's like going on and on and on and on. He's, I'm a manager in training. If this clown is a manager in training and they're wasting $14 an hour on this banana head, I got news. And if I find out that the same people still own that McDonald's and it wasn't sold, I've got the direct number to the district guy on my phone. And I will call it. Because I already talked to the head district guy they sent from out of state down there last week. Anyway, so I pull up to the next window because he won't get the manager when I've asked like 10 times. And I mean to the point of where I'm screaming. This guy's got me so pissed. And I'm usually not like that at all. So I get to the next window and there's 4 black girls there and they're like, hey, how you doing, Red? And I said, what are you going to do with that jerk on the window? And they're like, we know. And I said, look, went round and round and round. And I asked for a manager like 10 times, why? And she's like, I'm managing tonight. I said, why didn't he bring you to the window? How hard was that? She turned around and she handed me my Coke, which I didn't even pay for. And I told her I could pay for it. She said, no, it's okay. I said, you know I love you, girl. I said, but what is wrong with this guy? I said, there was like 6 workers right there that were at that second window, and I knew all of them, and they're all really nice. And I said, I've not had any problems with any of your people over here. I said, get rid of that guy. So, man. And she felt so bad because she loves me. She's like, you don't want to come up here and night shift him? I'm like, no, because of that guy. Because it's always going to be a problem. But anyway, have you had any problems in the drive-thru lately? I hope you guys are having a great night. And I've been putting hours upon hours in at my work. And like Elon Musk says, put 100 hours in a week, and all those other people that are only doing 40, it'll take you 4 years' time to get to where you need to go before they do. Which I'm hoping is right. Yeah, I mean, why should you even bother to go on the app unless you're pre-ordering or something? I mean, I don't have time for that. I'm just going through the drive-thru, driving the car. I just want to order a quick beverage and go. I'm not a McDonald's food person at all. I do not like their food. I used to like their fish sandwich years ago, and I think I've had two in probably 10 years. I do like their bacon, egg, cheese biscuit, but you've got to go really, really early in the morning or they're going to be burned and hard. You get two for $4. And I do like their mocha frappes. I only like the select few things. Most of it is not good. And it's so expensive. I can't even believe how high McDonald's has gotten through the years. It just about doesn't make any sense how expensive they've got. And it's not like they're paying it to their employees. I know a manager that's been manager for 22 years of the Dustin McDonald's, and she finally left and opened her own restaurant. Yeah. And they even gave her a gold necklace that said McDonald's. Kind of rough start today, but it's better now. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, so it's yeah. I've worked my butt off all day. I'm sorting rhinestones out once and for all, because I had some I took on the road to do rhinestone work when I'm working, and then I have some in my shop stock, and I just had so much. Since I'm not running anything on the road right now, I'm incorporating it all, and I have bags and bags and bags of stones. I'm talking like quart-sized bags. So I'm sorting them all out by color and putting them in proper boxes and everything so that I can find them. I got so much to get done. I'm doing the colors right now. I thought that would be quick and easy, but no. It just takes forever. So, yeah. And then I'm still doing some work on my car. And I've got to do a whole bunch of work on it in the next day or two, get that finished up. So, yeah. So, anyway, the weather's nice. It was raining all day today, just light rain all day long, and then it stopped a couple hours ago. So it was peaceful. It was okay. Nice temperature. I saw Inspirational Nomad. He's up in Jersey visiting his mother right now, and he's complaining it's already cold. Yep. It's supposed to rain at 2 a.m. where you're at. Whoa. But just remember, when it rains, God is crying. Yep. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know. I'm just hoping that when I get most of this stuff all listed, that sales will be good this holiday season on the internet. They were really bad. Really, really bad for September. Highs in the 70s and low 80s here because you're up north. 74 now. It's probably about 74, 75 right here now. Let me see. 74 outside temperature. Yep. So that's pretty square. But yeah, it's been an interesting day. Yeah, that same I was saying that same guy has been there probably 2 months, and I used to go up there every night and get a beverage, and then every day in the morning. And I stopped going at nights. They used to have a Dollar General to us, and we stopped going to that location. Yeah, I just really don't go up there at night because of that guy. I think I've been up there 3 times in the last 30 days, and only 2 of those times he was there. Shielded us and the customers, and we had to stop going to that one. Yeah, there's no reason for people to be yelling at the customers or treating them badly, because here's the thing. When I managed a grocery store, you know, we had problematic customers, and all I want you to do is like call for management, and I will come down and take it over, and hopefully they'll shut up, and you can get them checked out quick enough and take their money and get them out the door. So the point being is that as long as that money's coming over that bill, that's making our paychecks and keeps our doors open. But we do have the right to refuse service to a customer that's really unruly. But if you piss off a customer intentionally, or you just have that kind of personality, you need to go. Because you're hurting the business, and you're hurting other people's paychecks. And, but otherwise, you need to really treasure the customers you've got, and try to hold your breath, try to do the right thing, try to keep it smooth as much as possible, because that's what's keeping the doors open, is that money coming in. So that's why you see a lot of these corporates will come in and they won't even know that, you know, why the numbers are bad. I've seen them do it in Grapevine, Texas, when I worked up there at one of the locations for the company that I worked for 5 years. And I was district man, and I floated to different locations all the time, and I was out there reworking one. And I was trying to get this employee from this other store to come to work for me. And I told her, I said, look, you can still work the store you're in. I'll just take whatever extra hours that I can get out of you, because you are awesome. I really thought she was really awesome personality. And so anyway, she started to come to work for me, and the store would actually send me a copy of their schedule so that I could work her schedule on mine, and not interfere them. She could do both jobs. And she was actually a key holder at that store. And then one week they came down, and I talked to the manager of that store, who I was really good friends with. And he said, well, the district guys are coming down. I said, why? And he said, well, they're pissed. The numbers are not right. And he said, they are pissed. And I said, oh boy. And he says, yeah, we'll have like 3 or 4 of them here for like a week or so. And I said, well, what if it's really bad? And he says, well, they'll can the entire store. I said, you are kidding. He said, nope, they'll do a sweep if they're really pissed. And they actually did. They canned everybody but one person. And they just swept the whole store. Boom. And that's the way they'll do it. They'll just do it blindly. They'll get rid of just everything they can, so they can start over and see if those numbers improve. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, a lot of these people don't understand that there's video in these businesses. And that's the proof in the pudding. There's so much video now. So, you know, how stupid is that to act stupid at work? You know? And I mean, I've had to work some hard jobs in my lifetime where you put up with people that are always pissed off. There's always something wrong. And sometimes it's just what's wrong with the business, and the poor customers putting up with it. And so, you know, you feel sorry for them, and you're trying to kiss butt all day long to try to make it smooth and everything, and you know things are screwed up, you know, and you try your damnedest, where other people don't give a damn. They just want to be a jerk right off the top because they think that's the way it is. And see, people like that don't belong on the front end servicing customers. They really belong in like stocking. I saw a video of a girl flipping out on Waffle House, and give the silver please. Let's see. Got on the silver thing, throwing stuff at workers because she didn't want it. She got jelly and she flipped out. Well, you have to remember Waffle House. Now, here's the quality of the people that go to Waffle House. And I've been to several of them around the states and had some very bad experiences. Yeah. And it was the quality of the food, not so much the servers. It was the quality of the food and the cleanliness of the place. And I know a guy that works the whole north, south, eastern region. I have his personal phone number that does all the hiring and stuff for the Waffle Houses. I have him on my phone right now. And uh, the biggest problem is that, the kind of people that you acquire for customers at Waffle House. I would venture to say that 80% of the people that go to Waffle House are drunk. Because it's one of those 24-hour kind of places that when the bars close, that's where everybody's going to go. Like here, there's several Waffle Houses in about, a 10-mile radius. And then there's like one Denny's. And the Denny's used to be fantastic years and years ago in this area. It was really nice. And to this day, Denny's is a big screwball mess. It is nothing like it used to be. It takes forever to get the food. The food is really bad quality. The people are really nice that work there. But the food is a joke. So I would think that most people are going to go to the Waffle House. And then, they used to have a place called Asiago. They had two of them, one in Dustin, one in Fort Walton, and they've both since folded. A girl I used to know that worked at Dodge's gas station said her grandparents were the Asiago people that owned it. Hit or miss. Yeah, Denny's used to be good. That used to be a really good place. God, I remember going to Denny's in California in the middle of the night with a good friend of mine that was a customer at one of the clubs I worked at. And he would always try to catch me when I got off work bartending or whatever. And he'd say, hey, let me pick you up or I'll meet you at Denny's. And we would go to Denny's. The only problem with it was that when we went, hey, Blue Jeans, that when we went, he never tipped. He was really tight, and this guy was an engineer, and he made money, and he never tipped him. He would count out the exact 2% tip or whatever it was. So I would always be dragging butt and glitter jeans, and I thought you said glitter jeans. It's blue jeans. And so I would always be dragging butt, and I'd lay, a couple bucks or $5 on the table and hope that he didn't see it because I was so embarrassed that he didn't tip. And I mean, we'd just go up there for coffee and pie or something at 3 in the morning or whatever when the clubs would close and sit and talk for a while. I like Dairy Queen. Oh yeah, that used to be good. But when we went, we looked up and saw a rat in the vent. Oh, no way. Oh, damn. Oh. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. Yeah. So, my friend Pat Robertson, he just passed away. He had a bunch of Sonics, and I was sitting in the office with him, and we were talking about different types of food and the costs of the electricity and gas and everything around the utilities for the business in a month. He said people don't understand what my overhead is like. Now, he owned the building, he owned the dirt, the whole thing. But the utilities are horrendous for places like that. And we were talking about chickens. And he said, well, chickens are about the most dirtiest animal. And he said, that's why we don't do a lot of chicken here at Sonic. And I said, okay, why? And he says, well, because they pee through their skin. And I was like, do what? So yeah, that's the only way they can pee is through their skin. And I was like, great. I said, this is really great. I don't think I ate chicken for a year after that. Um, oh boy, what a mess. So how you guys doing out there? Everybody doing okay? Good to see you this evening. Yep. I skipped out on the live a couple evenings because I was so busy and I got so tired and I was like, So, yeah. And I didn't even turn my Wi-Fi on all this time. Gosh. Now it'll be on. So, yeah, anyway. What a day, what a day. I can't believe they're still doing the service over here on this right side. Amazing. But, so did everybody have a great day at work or a great day getting things done? How's the weather over here in Florida? It's like 75, 70, around 75 degrees tonight. It's been sprinkling all day long. It stopped a couple hours ago, but it was nice. Roxanne got good weather. And what state are you in, Roxanne? Aren't you in Ohio or something like that? 68 here and some rain. And Blue Jeans, what state are you in? Got my PS4 out, gonna clean it. There you go. Yeah, I watched a video the other night. Ohio, right. Yeah. I watched a video the other night of a guy redoing an old-timey Nintendo like I used to have and took the entire thing apart and then soaked it in peroxide. It was wild. Michigan. Boy, I bet it's cold over there, buddy. Woo! The home of Ford. Did the Ford factory shut down over there? All these car factories are having a lot of problems lately. So that the Powerball, it had over like $600 million. They had a truckload of payouts. And then somebody in California hit for part of it. That was pretty amazing. 69 degrees in Michigan. Wow. That's not too bad. It's like, when I lived in California, I used to say 50 degrees was bone-chilling weather. But then when I was in Oklahoma and Memphis, man, I've been in like 4 degrees below zero. And that is so cold. Would love to win that. Haha, I know it. I love the 50s to 70s. I like it like around 70. But probably because I was raised in California. Yeah, well, they didn't hit the entire thing on the Powerball, though. They had, like 2 steps down. They just got a little bit of it. The rest was a whole bunch of payouts all the way down to the bottom. And I had like 6 total tickets because it was up there for like a month. And I would just buy one here and there. But I didn't hit a dime on it. Tesla cars. Boy, Tesla, Elon's getting some fancy Teslas out. Did you see those little convertible jobbers? Whoa, those things are good looking. And that YouTube channel, that What's Inside family, that guy ordered one for his kid with a double engine in it, so has a double lifetime to it or whatever of charging. But the kid didn't say thank you in the whole vlog. You should watch it. He didn't even say thank you in like a 45 minutes worth of vlog. That he got that thing for his birthday. Like, how rude. And then his dad pays $2,000 on Apple Pay to add the 0 to 60 effect thing for the kid's first car. Why would you do that? That's just retarded. You know? But that blew my mind. A kid just got one of the most expensive cars around as a first birthday car and didn't even say thank you. Man. I just don't know. And that whole channel was made around that kid, you know. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they used to saw stuff open all the time. No manners anymore. This is true. I mean, God. Yeah, the car was for his boy. His boy's still got his permit. And that was to be his first car. And he special ordered one for his kid. And got him, I think they call it the Y. It wasn't the Plaid, but it was the Y. But it has like the double engine in it, so that it runs double the length of charging time than normal. But, I mean, that's a huge, expensive car. Yeah, that's pretty sad, man. It only took me one time to learn to say thank you. Because my dad sent his girlfriend to take me shopping, and she liked going to places like Dillard's and stuff like that, and Saks, and we went there, and she picked out all this stuff for me to get and everything. And my dad supposedly paid for it, and I don't believe that. I think she did because she was really wealthy, and my dad probably paid a very small portion of that. And we were showing my dad all the great stuff, and it was supposed to be like my school clothes for the year or something. And you know, I was so excited showing him all the great stuff and going through the bags and everything. And then he said, well, and he told Jill, he said, pack it up and take it all back. And I was in tears, and he said, you couldn't even say thank you. And it was like, I will never forget that. Yep. And especially like if I do stuff for people and they don't say thank you, I'm done. Yeah. And they don't even say you're welcome, yeah. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. People are weird today. Yep. Not the quality of people when I grew up. But I don't know, I guess I just had a different raising. My father's captain in the Navy, and my parents were very, very proper. Especially my mother. My mother strove for that. She wanted us to know the book of etiquette and all this kind of stuff, and she was big on all that kind of stuff. For us to walk with a book on our head and know how to set a table and proper manners and all that. They don't teach manners anymore at home nor in school. Probably not. Probably not. We had to watch our step in school, even in public school. And then I went to parochial school, and man, let me tell you what. If you ever had the should I say chance or opportunity, my dad paid a lot of money for us to go to parochial school. Man, you will learn manners and being proper in parochial school, that's for sure, because those penguins will come after you. Hey, watch the Blues Brothers. All that stuff's true. Those penguins, some of them are scary. And they will get you. They do not play. The only one that won't is the Monsignor, because that sucker's so drunk on that wine all the time. And he's just, and usually so elderly that he's either sleeping or toasty drunk. You know? But yeah, those parochial schools, religion class, oh boy, oh boy. And I'll tell you, my dad thought it was a grandeur improvement to take me out of public school thinking I was like a heathen or something. And then put me in a parochial school Let me tell you, that's where the serious drug dealers and hookers were. There was some wild stuff with these rich kids. Oh my gosh. It was incredible. Truly incredible. Yeah, the first year I went, there was a Mexican guy that was getting ready to graduate, and he had no date. He didn't speak very good English. He was very, very nice. And he had no date for the prom, and he wanted to know if I could go to the prom. I said, well, I'd have to ask my dad. And I told my dad goes, no. He said, that'd be like robbing the cradle, with a senior taking a freshman. I said, he has nobody to go with him. And not many people speak Spanish at my school. I'm the only one that speaks both, so, But my dad wouldn't let me go. That poor guy, he probably didn't even get to have a date for the prom. And he was very nice. I would have liked to have gone to the prom. Never went to the prom in my life. Yep. Almost got to go in my 20s, though. A friend of mine's kid couldn't get a date for the prom, and I said, I'll go. And they're like, you would? I'm like, yeah. In a heartbeat. I would love to go. And then I was going to go, and then at the last minute, he got a date. The deal was off. Yeah, I have a daughter that's Cuban. And her dad is 100% Cuban, so he didn't speak any English, and I spoke Spanish, and I was teaching him English little by little, and when you're around it a lot, at one point I could hardly speak English anymore because I spoke so much Latin. I was always around it. So, and I had a Cuban business, so it was mostly Latinos that come in of all types, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican. Been trying to learn Spanish. It's a good thing to know, especially in business. I will tell everybody, just get your beginning Spanish in, because it can cost you a huge amount of money if you don't. My ex-husband, we were in the car business for a lot of years, and he couldn't speak any Spanish at all, and about, I would say 30 to 40% of our business was Latins, primarily Mexicans, and you got to speak Spanish, and if you want to make some money, because first of all, Mexicans love a red truck. That's their favorite, red truck. And so it's not hard to sell to them, and they work really, really hard. So they make good money, and they work very, very hard, a lot of hours. And so we did 1-year loans on our cars, and it was so sad because he couldn't speak Spanish, and I'd have to go up to the car lot and talk to them. Yeah. So, you'll lose a lot of business if you don't speak Spanish. It really helps, really, 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 really a lot. I taught my kids Spanish as much as I could so that they could function in life with, oh my gosh, that noise. Ugh. That's a guy playing that trash. Look at this thing, it's binding again. Stop. It is binding so bad. I hate those lever things that bite. But anyway, my friends speak Spanish very well. So, are they American or are they Latin? Blue jeans. There's some people that pick it up and do really, really well with it. But it's a good second language. I took French, and it was horrible. I really wanted to learn French, and I had trouble getting through the first class. God, it was absolute nightmare. And that was one of the worst classes I ever took. The next worst one was theater arts. Ugh. I wanted to do that so bad because everybody said I was such a great actor. And it was like, only because I'm on the spot acting, not trained. And I got thrown out of theater arts. He just said I wasn't the right material or something. And I thought I was doing pretty good. But obviously not. So, you know. I don't know if I'd wanted to be an actor though. It's a hard way to go. Living in Hollywood and trying to be an actor like all the other millions of others. You know? But languages are good. I know a little bit of several languages, but just a little. But if you could get past English, get at least one other language, and first choice would be Spanish. Absolute first choice. It will really help you get a better paying job and more stability in a job. It's amazing how many people don't speak Spanish at all. I have a best friend of mine. She goes to Miami, right, for vacation. I guess it was her dream thing to go to Miami. And I'm like, so how's your trip doing? And she was there like 4 days. She was going to do a week. And guess what? She says, well, I kind of hated it. And I was like, why? And she said, well, everybody speaks Spanish. I'm like, you don't speak Spanish? No. I said, what were you in Miami for? If you don't speak Spanish, are you kidding? Oh my gosh. I was talking to my brother the other day. And he's like, well, what about Miami? I'm like, well, there's too many hurricanes down there and everything gets wiped out all the time. Insurance is 3 times the price, so was rent. It's like being in California. And Miami is all Jews and Latino. And I love going to Miami. The hotels are like $300 a night. They're a ripoff. The food is outstanding. If you like Latin food, it is 100% outstanding. A beautiful place, but it's super expensive. But if you don't know how to speak Spanish, you might as well forget it. Married to a Mexican. She was married to a Mexican. Never been there, but we would love to go. Yeah, it's just real expensive. It's super, super expensive. But that Tampa and lower, you know, everything in between there. So Miami gets wiped out a lot with the hurricanes. Yeah, that's the problem from Tampa and above. And you can tell by car insurance, because I went to price car insurance for the state of Florida. As soon as you step over the state line to mid-Florida to lower Florida, and insurance prices are high as hell the further you go. It'll usually double. If you're out of state of Florida, it'll usually double once you get over state line. Then when you get to mid-Florida, it goes to about triple. When you get to lower Florida, it's like 4 times the price. It is ridiculous high. And the rents are about the same. Back to Miami, we stayed there a night. Yeah, because it's like $300 a night. It's terrible expensive. We couldn't find a cheap hotel for our life. I bought a Cadillac down there just a couple years ago. And my daughter and I went down there, and oh my God, those were $300. And I was like, oh, no way. I was so mad because the guy wouldn't let me have the car. Because he said I had to go to the DMV first to get the temporary for it, because they would put me in jail and impound the car if I tried to drive it back over state line that night. And I was like, just give me the paper so I can go. You know? He's like, it won't make it over state line. I was like, oh. I was mad as hell. I even told him I needed a discount because I had to stay the night for a $300 damn hotel. We would like to see the keys. Yeah, everybody wants to see the keys, but guess what? Keys is expensive. I have a friend of mine has a house down there, and he Airbnbs one room for $1,000 a night. $1,000 a night. Yeah. Keys is an expensive place. It's super neat. It's about an hour and a half from Miami. But, yeah, it's just really expensive. But, there's one good little hotel down there that's about the most reasonable of all, and I can't think of the name of it. That was mid-2. Oh, good luck. You know how much the damn hotels are right now? And its winter rate? $300. Here in Upper Florida, $300. Yep. They're still charging the tourist price. They did that last year. They didn't have any winter rate last year. Yep. It was usually like 45, 46 a night in the winter. Nope. They run through it. And they're probably just going to do it for another year because all those people that came from Louisiana got wiped out over there and have no home. They're homeless and had to come this way with nothing but their car. They're staying in hotels, you know. Yeah. I assume prices have went way up. Because so many people have relocated in Upper Florida for this area. It was because of Corona. Now, the so-called slow season for this area is wintertime, but last year we did great. And that's because of the pandemic. So many people came here because they couldn't work where they were living at, in the states they were living at, so they came here. But normally it's super slow for the wintertime around here. It's worse in Panama City. That place literally folds in the winter. And then in the Tampa area and lower, their busiest time of the year is the winter. So their prices are higher in the winter. And there's some pretty cool little hotels down in the Tampa area that I like. There's one I really like. I think it's called Riverside or something like that. Whoa, I love that place, and it's reasonable. My daughter and I stayed there several times when we go down to Tampa and I go to work down there. Super neat. But yeah, see, the housing has gone up, retail price, and rents. So here the rents have gone over double of the normal what they used to be before the pandemic. Yeah, Panama's like an hour and a half of here. And Panama's so bad they have to roll up the streets over there. It's terrible. Panama hasn't done crap in 6 years at least. It used to be banging, and a lot of it was they drove the tourists away. They got too happy with police and tow trucks. They really, really jacked with a lot of the tourists on the spring break, so nobody wants to go to Panama anymore. Everything went up so expensive. Well, it's Florida. It's Florida. But the pandemic, like I said before, the pandemic ruined everything. Yep. Even storages are high. What I pay in storage here, I could rent 8 giant storages in Alabama. Yeah. So, I don't know. If the stock market crashes one more time, it will start bringing stuff back down to normal. That already the real estate market is starting to drop a little bit. It's just settling and starting to slowly decline. So, yeah. But the interest rates are still super low. Just super low. They are printing money, and they keep printing money, which devaluates our dollar too. But God, gas is going up. Gas is $3.05 here. My brother in California, he's paying like almost $6 a gallon in California. It's crazy. But here the gas is usually like $1.80, and now it's $3.05. Yeah. So it's amazing. How much is your gas at your place, everybody? Put the state and the price of your gas per gallon on the regular. Thank you for the 2 thumbs up. Yesterday paid $3.39 in Ohio. $3.39 a gallon. No, in Michigan. Well, it's $3.05 here. $3.04, $3.05 here. I just bought gas yesterday. It's just so high. Which really ruins the app gig business. Because then they need to raise their payouts more because the fuel is so damn high. Because you'll burn some fuel up doing app gig. The weather's so nice right now. It's just about perfect, but it'll probably start raining tonight. You know how it gets. Poor Inspiration No Man, he could be up there in Jersey and be snowing tomorrow or something. He would really be mad then. I need to get in a hotel up there and get out of that car, boy. Whew. I think he's almost landed a house. He's trying to buy in Florida, out in mid-Florida. That's a pretty blue color. $3.09 a gallon, Ohio. Wow. Amazing. I think it's just going to keep going up. We're just getting socked with all this inflation. I don't know, what do you guys think Christmas will be like? You think people are going to actually shop for Christmas, or you think they're going to quit? A lot of people are getting hit with that unemployment loan paper where they claimed it's a loan instead of unemployment, and I think they're worried about paying all that back. California, Hawaii, and Alaska are the real expensive places. Oh, there's others. But, yeah. It's just insane. I wonder why that their prices are so much higher. You know, Louisiana's like the dirt cheapest place to get fuel. Louisiana and Mississippi are usually pretty cheap. And then Alabama, lower Alabama. Because I've gone to Louisiana and the fuel was like $2 a gallon in Bama or Georgia, and then it'd be like $1.50 a gallon in Louisiana. So I used to work down there just about every week. Kmart is closing. God, the Kmart that was here for 1,000,000 years in Fort Walton folded like a year ago. I was really surprised it did. It's just been there forever. And I was kind of expensive for a Kmart. And I thought there weren't any Kmarts left anymore. But they took the whole building and they made it a U-Haul storage, indoor storage thing. And in the parking lot is all the U-Haul rentals. That's a multi-million-dollar location for sure. Yeah, in California we used to have what we called monkey wards. It was Montgomery wards, Zodi's. Those were real neat stores. Pick and Save. I think there's only one Pick and Save left out there. Pick and Save was always kind of cool. It was kind of like a really cheap Pier 1 Imports. But now Pier 1 Imports is more like Pick and Save was. I used to love to go into the Pier 1 Imports. They always had the neatest stuff. But a lot of that stuff, Pier 1 Imports, if you go to an Oriental restaurant, it has a little store in it. You can get some really cool stuff there, really reasonable. There used to be one in Dothan, Alabama that was real good. It was owned by the Oriental restaurant next door. Oh, you could get the neatest stuff. No Japanese there? Like nothing Oriental? Like no Oriental food, no nothing? God, how could you live without Oriental food? That's like something for everybody. Whether you're vegetarian or not vegetarian or whatever. How is this guy fighting over boxes in one little bag? He was like struggling. Jeez. Empty boxes in a little bag. Oh, that drummer. I can't get over how nice the weather is this evening. It's truly beautiful. Tomorrow will probably be really nice. I don't know, it might rain tomorrow. But it was an okay day today, even though it sprinkled all day. I need to do that work in my car, and I just said, well, I was gonna do it, and I thought, well, nah. So I just got a bunch of other stuff done anyway. If I could just get it knocked out and finished, then I could get to some other things I got to do and get some stuff done in my car too. But I'm trying to get this finished and over with, sorting out all these rhinestones and putting them in their proper place. It's just thousands of them. Yeah. It's a tough job, but somebody got to do it. So does everybody work, or are you just retired, or what do you do? What is your specialty? Let's see. No, JCPenney here said, yes, I work for a bank, Roxanne. Really? Good job. So, that's a really good job. How long have you worked for the bank? I'm not sure if we have any Kmart here anymore. I thought they went out of business, because when they closed this one, it had been here for, I don't know how long. Gosh, I remember one year it was the only thing that was open on Christmas Eve. And everybody ran down there to go do their Christmas shopping at the last second. I've been there 5 years. Excellent. Excellent. So do you get good deals on like car loans and house loans and stuff when you work for a bank? Or is it kind of all about the same? Close to here than the other two locations. Yeah, a friend of mine told me, said, well, the tellers have it made, and you go through there and they're always on their phone. I don't know how they could be on their phone. I used to love working for the casinos. I really thought that was the neatest thing. They paid so much money. Savings and credit cards, no loans. You don't get any extra discounts. Really? I thought they would do some major stuff there for their employees. Thank you for the thumbs up, you guys. Appreciate it. Work in the office. I'm at home doing emails for a customer, sometimes phone calls. Wow, that works. You know, a lot of people went online. I have a couple friends of mine that were strippers, and they started doing travel on the internet, and they get paid doing that. Yeah, you think we would get extra discounts? Yeah, I would think you would. You know, just like if you ever worked for tourism or something where they give you discounts on cruises and stuff. That's interesting. But maybe they take the fringe benefits off so they could pay you more. I started work from home right before in January 2020. Really? Oh my gosh, brilliant. You were right on the money there. Yes. So can you work whenever you want, or do you have to do certain hours? Like, I wonder what it'd be like to be like an Amazon rep. You know? I don't know if you got to work certain hours, or you just work as many as you can. So much of that stuff anymore, it's hard to know if you're talking a robot or a real person. Make your own schedule. I try to do mine 11 to 7. Wow. Way cool. That is so cool. Wow. So they pay you by the hour or by how many deals you cut? That sounds like a really super neat deal. Hourly pay, sweet. Sweet. What an awesome job. That totally rocks. Yeah, I may try to get some internet for my office. I don't know. I was talking to one of the other people that has one of the other offices, and they wanted internet there too. They're not there as often, but I don't know. If I could get a good deal on internet, it'd be sweet. 'Cause I bet they would split it with me too. He said he'd rather do it there than do it at the hotel when they come in town. Well, I guess I'm gonna rock and roll. Go get some more work done. Try to get some sleep. I haven't slept too good in the past couple nights. Got lots of stuff on my mind right now. And tomorrow's another day. But I got to get a ton of stuff listed for the holidays here. Gosh, I hope this month is better. Because September is just absolute blah. I think I sold 2 things all of September on the internet. Pretty yucky. Yep. So I hope you guys had a great one. I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate you hanging out. And we'll talk to you later. Love you. And do something kind for a stranger. And I'll see you on the next vlog. Love ya.